Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming from narcissistic abuse. It is boiling hot here today, right? So I've got wet hair, no makeup. The message is the message, right? Just so we know that why I look like this. But I don't want to let that stop me sharing with you what I've got to share, right? Because I think long and hard about how to heal people and how to radically shift this on the planet. And by the way, I really am not here for people who do not want to change. If you don't want to change and you want to, I know how absolutely terrible these cycles are, trust me. I was stripped of everything because of it. I was in a foreign country where I could get no welfare, no support, no food stamps, nothing. I got into a business partnership who basically stole, I mean, it was just a disaster, right? I had every obstacle against me and yet still I found my power and rose. So I want to speak to your power today, right? I know it's hard. What happened to you, whatever's happened to you in these cycles is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal and transform. And there has to come a point where we stop intellectualizing this, where we stop saying that it's so big, it's so bad that we can't transcend it. Because I swear on my life, the moment I put my hand in the air and said, I will not be part of this any longer, right? Which meant to me homelessness at the time, which meant to me having to let go of everything that resembled security, because I was very enmeshed with a narcissist and I had no way of getting out of it until I learned sovereignty and I was committed to it, to heal and transform, to not just sit on the sidelines and defend myself from narcissists, to say I am willing to completely break these chains. I am willing to find my power in a place where it looks completely hopeless, right? I'm not saying it's easy for a lot of us, right? I do have a system that makes it a lot easier for you. But what I am saying is you have a choice. It doesn't matter how old you are. I work with people of all ages. However old you are is like however young you are today, right? But there comes a point where we have to stop researching it, stop making it like bigger than it is and deciding that we are bigger than it. So if you're ready to do that, Sovereign is open. You can join it. It will change your life. It's $555 right now. There will be a monthly fee to stay in it going forward, but right now you can still get it for that price. We have to. When I decided, right, that I didn't know how, but how in the universe is something we know in hindsight, right? How is something that God puts together when we have faith. But I had to decide that my life was worth more than it. I had to have faith bigger than my circumstances, right? And I had to find out how. Because there are so many opportunities and possibilities, but when we're stuck in the past, when we're beating the stick, I even saw a coach this week, you know, this is not out of disrespect, but you know, I don't teach you have to go no contact. I teach you how to work for your transitions, but they stand for no contact. And they said, well, there's a circumstance where I had to go no contact. Well, the thing is, where do you stand on it? I stand in a standard of I get to be loved, valued, honoured, supported in this universe from now on. I get to be loved and connected to, which means I will not accept toxicity. I won't accept abuse. And that's just not part of my life, right? You don't have to stand there today, but you do have to take responsibility. See, in the narcissistic cycle, it works that they manipulate you. They completely work against like your consent. You have signed a deal with the devil that you didn't know you were getting into. But after a while, now you're agreeing to it. After a while, you're now saying yes, right? And now it's on you. And that's the trap of it. But it's also where we have to own our own power and choice and responsibility. When a choice doesn't feel like a choice, and I know it. I know how bad it was. I know how I was like desperate for survival, but still had to choose my own power, had to choose my own sovereignty. And that's why I'm so good at showing you how to do it, because I've got ways to do it. I've got ways you can shift your energy and your consciousness, because in a poverty consciousness, in in a very low vibration, which is where they put you, right, you can't see much. And if you truly do just want your life to be about what happened to you and you don't want to radically transform, then my work probably isn't for you, because I take people further. I help them create their dreams no matter what they've been through or how hard it's been. If that's you, then come into what I do. I've got private coaching, I've got the Sovereign program. You have to pay for the whole lot because the level of investment does actually increase the level of transformation because of the work, because of like the intention and what goes into a mutual investment in these things. I do as much as I can for free, but there is a difference when people say yes and they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. They're willing to go for that next level of support. They're willing to choose themselves and choose their power, and that takes investment on both sides. And as you raise your consciousness, your abundance grows and you have more money to invest in yourself, in your growth, in your healing, in everything. When we are in a powerless state, we feel helpless, right? But it starts with our energy. You've got to decide first that you will be able to grow, that you will be able to have more in your life, right? That your life isn't about researching narcissists or keep going over the past. You see, it keeps you stuck in the past. You're victimized. It's not your fault what happened to you. But then we stay in a victim state because we go over the past. We make it mean what we get to do, be, and have in the present. And that's not the truth. And I'm really inspired to show people what they're capable of. I am really inspired to show you that no matter how hard it's been or what you've been through, your dreams can come true. No matter how old you are even, right? You can have a better quality of life, but you've got to invest in yourself and you've got to invest in your transformation, make different choices, choose your new consciousness and commit to it, dedicate to it, right? And keep going over the same stories and what happened to you and why your life isn't working. I know it's true. I know it's real. I know it's unfair, but we have to heal those traumas, right? And then be focused on personal development and growth, which is what I integrate in my work, which I don't see other people doing because they haven't had that experience. But my background was that. It was transformation, it was leadership support, it was peak performance. So now I understand the trauma element. I put those two together so that you can be your most abundant and authentic self, right? We're playing for a quality of life. We're not playing to be healing forever or the victim of this story. We're playing to be our authentic self. We're playing to now say, I get to take charge of my life. That's what I decided. And I was like, okay, now what? And I had no idea. I had faith and I had the tools I teach people, and I had conviction and a definite energy. I decided it, right? Because we all have excuses, and it's not that they're not valid. They're so valid, right? My excuse was, I will be homeless if I leave this man. And so be it. I had to overcome that obstacle. It was really hard. I hope to God you never have to go to the levels I went to, because it was terrible. Healing without, survival guarantee, a safe place, your own home, is a disaster, right? And yet still here I am. And yet still here I am creating dreams. Yet still here I am rapidly, not just healing, but expanding. And that's what I want to teach you, that you get to heal and expand at the same time. But it starts with you, it starts with a choice, and it starts with a definite decision. And I don't want to speak to your power, because it's in you. I want to speak to the part of you that wants more, that's willing to be more, and is willing to break the chains, break the burdens, and let this go. So if you want to join Sovereign, you can. If you want to come in for personal coaching, you can. If you want to learn how to dramatically transform your life, that's what my work is for, right? It's not for information. It's not an encyclopedia on narcissists, because all you need to know is how you feel about someone truly, and are you being treated the way you want to be treated. If you've been through narcissistic abuse, yes, you do need to know what's happened to you. There is a part of our healing where we have to acknowledge how bad it's been, what's happened to us, and what it really was, so that you know it had nothing to do with you, it had everything to do with them. But you have to have you right now, right? I teach self-partnering, I teach self-sourcing, and I teach sovereignty. So if you want to come into that, let me know. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.